Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Toffee Bluecast. It's been a while, but we've got the itch, and we know you're all thinking Everton. So we've had to get back on it because there is plenty of news to drop. And I have got with me my partner, Paul, that does the channel with me. I'm going to get him straight on. I've got stuff to put on the screen. We need to catch up, update you on what's happened. I'm sure you already know, but we all love to talk about it and share our thoughts on what has happened. So let's get started. I'll get him straight on, and then we'll put stuff on the screen and we'll have a little talk. It's just a Bluecast get together. Get on it if you're new. I want more and more people ready on this channel. How you doing, Paul? You all right?
I'm not too bad, yeah. Did we have a break?
You wanted more of one, probably, but I've got you straight back on it. I got the itch. Oh, I think you secretly had the itch as well, because you did say to me you missed it.
I know. I think it was because I think, like I said, it was so intense, wasn't it, for a couple of months at least. And then after the Bournemouth game, it was just like
straight away.
It was just silent, wasn't it? So it was hard to sort of change easily too.
I think we went through that much emotions. You needed time to get your emotions back on track and get your body back to normal, because it was lows and lows and a high, then a low, and it was just pure stress and more stress than we needed. But I feel like I'm back now. I'm fresh, and I've started to see like the gossip and all that lot. And I thought, let's get this gossip on the channel and let's keep this channel up to date and get the characters back on. The Blues there, look, Jamie. I'm sure Young Trash, Lord, they'll all come on. Get on, because we will speak to you throughout the channel. We get involved with you. We want what you're going to say. We want to know what you're going to say. And I try and make this, and Paul does, we try and make it a really good watch for you and interesting. We'll go through things fast. We won't make it boring. We'll make it exciting. And you'll get to talk Everton, because we all love to talk Everton, don't we, Paul?
We do. And rumours are already coming in that we're buying Usain Bolt.
Yeah, well, I'd take him on a free.
That'd be easy on a free, wouldn't it?
I would take him on a free. I've just got here, right? You know the system. I'll chuck stuff on the screen. You in the comments. I know you want to talk about it because you haven't had a chance. We're back. Everything Everton's here as well. We're back. We'll talk about things one at a time. Like, we'll go through it, all break it down, try and catch up. But this will be about players that have gone and players that have been offered new contracts. Then we'll start the next episodes talking about like links and stuff like that. We'll do quizzes. So much that we've got to do. And basically, the Bluecasters just want to entertain you over this break and have a bit of fun with the toffees. That's all we want to do. So it's going to be good. But first of all, I'm going to drop on the screen. You know what this channel's like. We're dead respectful. And I'm just going to have a look now, see if I can get used to this all again. It isn't even there. I was just going to say the guy's passed away. Auntie Paul's academy coach.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was sad to hear that. It was. Actually,
just...
a lot of the ex-players who went through the academy were sending messages, weren't they?
Well, it turns out that I've literally just prepped and I'm late because I've put everything to go on the screen and it isn't there. It isn't there, but don't worry, we will all talk about it. I know what I was going to talk about. I can't believe that. I literally just spent half an hour putting stuff together for the channel. And because I'd done the stuff for not longer than 7 seconds, it hasn't let me put it on. But you live and learn. That's absolute crazy. I can't believe that. But yeah, fire away, Paul. I'm just going to have a look, see what I can do with it. And then.
Yeah, well, we... people that we've lost Begovic. He turned down a new contract. We did offer him one, but he turned it down. Obviously, then Townsend contract came to an end, so he's moved on. I don't know how much was us and how much was him. Probably more us, I would imagine. And obviously, Mina had made his decision before the Bournemouth game to up and go. So they're sort of the main ones. We've a few younger lads in the under 21s who've moved on. And then we've got some who are on the periphery who have decided to move on themselves. So Stanley Mills, sorry, everything. Stanley Mills is bobbed off to Standard Liège, I think.
Yeah, I'd covered him on it. I mean, it's just frustrating because I haven't actually got it. I had it all here on file. Well, I'll start with, I've got it all here on my phone anyway, but I can't put it on the screen. I've done it all fantastic for you. But I was going to start with a tribute to Everton Academy recruitment manager Ian Lavery following his sad passing away, and I just thought that was really sad, and it's something that we've got to mention on the channel. I seen Dobbin come out and say he was absolutely amazing, and a lot of the academy players have come out. Such sad news as well. Young, not a age for someone to pass away. So I just wanted to give him a big shout out. And that was the first thing I was going to mention on the channel. I have got the stuff here. I would normally put it on the screen for you, but I can't because it hasn't worked for me this time. But yeah, I was just going to drop that one. The next one, Paul, I'll drop them to you. People in the comments, you tell me what you think on this, and we'll do it as we go. I did have it to put on the screen, but we're going to have to go through it like I'll tell you, and then we'll go through it as that. So the first one I've got here is Ruben Vinagre has gone back. What do you think on this one?
He didn't play. They didn't give him a chance. He had 2 appearances for us and didn't do particularly anything. So obviously Frank nor Sean saw enough in him for him to stay even, and he was injured for a little bit as well. So
yes, I got
it's
it.
a shame really, because you hear about us getting someone from was he Portuguese?
Got it. Here we go.
And you think, oh, he's going to be good, but we never saw him really.
Here we go. Got it. There you go. That's what I wanted. Just little details. There we go. Ruben Vinagre. I've got all the stuff I need now. I've found the file. Oh my days, that was a little bit of a sweat on there. But here we go. Ruben, there he is. Yeah. So what you were saying, sorry to butt over you then. I just got the stuff I wanted to tell you. We've got the pictures now, so it's going to make it easier for us and people in the comments. People in the comments, drop what you think as well. Paul just said, yeah, he didn't get a chance. I'm agreeing with you, Paul. He didn't get a chance. Part of me thinks he didn't because he probably wasn't good enough. But like another one that I'm going to talk about later on, he didn't really get a chance, did he? So we don't know whether he was good enough.
Yeah. The most I get from Ruben Vinagre is he looks a lot like an actor, and I can't remember the actor's name. And the actor was in Wild Things with Neve Campbell and Denise someone, and he was in a few other films. Famous actor, I can't think, but he just looks dead like him. I've just seen.
Isn't he in that Mary one, where she gets like spunk in her hair and it spikes up?
Yeah, he's in that as well. Yeah,
yeah, I know what you mean.
Tell us in the comments, because I can't remember what his name is.
I don't know what his name is because you know what I'm like, but I'm good on remembering films, and he's on that one as well. He's a bit of a crook into you. Yeah, I know who you mean though. I know who you mean. He does look like him as well there. I've managed to get here. So we've just said that in the comments, Paul, if you want to read out a few comments on that, on what people think. Vinagre thought his name was Viagra.
Great on our pronunciation. Yeah, I mean, the Blues says wasn't anywhere near as good. He's a wing back at Leicester League level. I think when we played pre-season friendly, Dwight McNeil scored a couple of goals. I think he set up 1 or 2 of them, didn't he? So I think that was his best kind of thing, to be honest, when he sort of got an appearance during that. But apart from that, we didn't see him.
I'm just surprised that we went for a left back that looked like he was more of an attack. I know the formation back then under Lampard was attacking wing backs with 3 centre backs, but he wasn't that good at defending for me. But I feel like he could have been a good left winger or something like that, but he just didn't seem solid enough for me to be the left back that we needed. But frustrating, because we could have brought someone in that was more valuable and not played Godfrey left back and been struggling in that position. So it was bad business for me, I believe, because we didn't get much out of it.
No, well, it was the same with a couple at that point, wasn't it? They were just sort of half loans, and they never took hold at all. So disappointing, to be fair.
Yeah, I completely.
It was. Hang on a second, Matt Dillon. There you are.
Matt, now I know his name, but I would never have got it. I would never have got it, but now I know his name. I know who you're on about. But yeah, he does look like him. You are right.
He does. Anyway,
sometimes it's fun to just think who they actually do look like, isn't it? I was just looking at this one now.
That's the most that we got out of him. Just knowing he was a bit like Matt Dillon.
Knowing he looked like him. Just dropped that one off, sorry. I was just looking for the other picture, but I haven't got it. But we'll move on. I've got an order here. The next player that we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
So Ruben Vinagre, we didn't keep him. We knew we wasn't going to keep him. It wasn't that good. The next player that I'm going to talk about, drop him on the screen now. I love this guy, the King. I think you know who this is going to be. People in the comments, when I put it on the screen, tell us what your thoughts are on what's happened to this player. That's all I'm going to do is go through what has happened, and me and Paul are going to say what we think. You tell us what you think. So Yerry Mina has not been offered another contract. I believe he saved us and kept us up. I really do. He played a massive part in it, especially that game that we went to, Bournemouth, Paul. He was actually a big part on us staying up. So what do you think on this guy, Paul?
Well, it was in the running, wasn't it? I mean, he played for us. He played for us 7 times in the season. That's it. And the performances that he actually made were vital. Actually scored a couple of goals as well. So, and he did the most important parts of his job when we needed it most. So it's hard to sort of argue with his impact, really. But people's perception was about his injuries and that we couldn't trust him to be available for us as much as we needed him. And it's all about how many centre backs you're going to have. You know, I think he was one of maybe 6, perhaps 7 supposed centre backs that we would have to choose from, with lads coming back from loan and everything else. So if you're going to have 4 centre backs as your choices, or maybe 5, would you allow Mina to be part of that 5? Would he be reliable enough when you needed him? Maybe not through fitness, but if he actually played, then we know he would do a job. It's a hard one, really. It depends on who else you've got left.
It's really frustrating. I'll read the comments out now. I keep commenting because I like this. I'll put them on. You are with us now. You're commenting, and it's good because this is about all of us, what we think and you think. So I just think he's a cracking centre-back, and I can't fault him in any sort of way. And I'm just gutted that he's injury-prone, because I think if he was a fully fit defender, I think we've got one of the best centre-backs in the league there. I really do, because when he's on it, he is one of the best. He's big, he's strong, he's fast, and he can handle anyone in the Premier League. So I am gutted, but like you say, he's injury prone and his wages are massive. So I completely understand this one, but I am gutted. Now, you want to read the comments out?
Yeah, just like the Blues said, gutted he's gone, but can't afford to keep him. Probably, and he did want to move now anyway, I think, because he announced it himself. Maybe he doesn't see himself being chosen as a regular, or even in the top 3 or 4 choices. So maybe he's decided to jump before we encouraged him. You don't know what happens behind the scenes, do you? To be fair, he may well have been told it might be worth you going. And as soon as he's heard that, he might well have just decided, "Oh, I'll go then."
I think
plenty of people will want him. Plenty of people will want him.
Yeah, it's definitely worth the risk, because he's one that some big teams will just put in when they need to, and he'll do the job, especially in big competitions. I think he'll do well. I mean, James just said was not worth keeping to only play 7 games a season. It shows that he can't keep carrying these injury players. I agree. You like him, but then you've got to be serious and think, like, he just, what we needed from him, we wasn't getting. And in our position, we need to get something out of every play we've got, and we wasn't getting enough from him. I'm gutted because he is amazing, but I don't feel we can carry passengers with our financial situation and with our thin squad. So I do think that Yerry Mina had to go, but it's just a shame with his injury record, because I don't think the comments that are coming out now, I don't think you'd have a problem with him if he wasn't injured all the time.
It's going to be interesting to see where he goes. Like Blue says there, maybe he wants a nicer bit of weather.
I could see him going into or AC, something like that. Do you know what I mean? Like that sort of league, into or AC, where he can play a bit of Champions League when he's fit, and just...
Yeah, he probably doesn't want to be battered by Deitch in pre-season.
Yeah.
It's probably that. That's a fair shout, I think.
I like that he said, "I will keep you up." He gave the message before that game, and he said, "I will keep you up. I'll give everything. I'll die for the club." And I generally think he wanted to. He did fight. It's just injuries, and It's a frustrating one with him, but I am glad to see him go, especially on the wages as well. I mean, it's 2 players, 120k a week, isn't it? It is 2 players.
Well, it should be. It should be, yeah.
Yeah, but not
Yeah,
with us.
the wages at our place are just bizarre. Do you know what I mean? Gray's not got a deal yet, I think, and not a massive deal. He's on quite low wages compared to some of the other lads who've been there a little while. So
I'm just going to get the next one up. Here we go. The next one. So Yeri Mina, read your comments there. We'll keep putting them on. We will try and read them. If we miss them, we're sorry, but there is a few comments coming in, so that's really good. The next one. This was a bit of a, because we're catching up on stuff here. This caused a bit of a tiff. This one didn't it?
Go on.
I think you know who this is. Do you know who it's going to be?
Are you going to say Cody?
Yeah. Here we go. Connor Cody. What's your thoughts? We haven't spoke to each other. We've had a proper break here, so I don't even know what to think on some of these. I really don't.
I'm disappointed, really. He wanted to stay. You know, he lives nearby. I know that for a fact. And he proper got into the side, didn't he? On his, not just his ability, but also his attitude on and off the pitch. You know, just anytime you sort of heard him being interviewed, or you just get the real feel that he's just a down to earth fella, but he just picks everyone up when they needed it. And for us to lose Mina and Cody, who are both those kinds of players, it's going to be important that whoever we have stay is able to take on that mantra, if you like, because we've lost 2 people who are very vocal in the middle of the pitch.
You're right. It's 2 very big characters. I think Mina's a massive character with his international record, and he's just his mouth. You know, he's a big character. And I think Connor Cody, everyone said he's well known in the dressing room, and he played his best when he played. I mean, he slacked maybe 1 or 2 games, but I think he got dropped probably and didn't get given another chance. He got given a chance that last game and turned up when we watched him against Bournemouth and played a big part on keeping us up. Yeah. I don't know with this one. It's just they must have a plan. They must have a plan, Paul.
Well, they must have. Well, I hope so. Jesus,
I know.
I hope so. I mean, he played 24 games for us out of the 37, 38. Yeah, Pickford missed 1 game, didn't he? So he's played a good chunk of the games, and I think it was the Villa game that he got done by the little lad plays the number 10 role for Villa, and when we lost 2-0, and he took quite a brunt of that. I don't think it was just him by any means in that game, but then he got dropped and Keane came in. Now Keane wasn't much better, to be honest, but because he'd worked with Deitch before, it seems as though Deitch fancied Keane staying in. So Cody didn't really come back until the last 4 games, something like that, 3 or 4 games maybe.
The Blues has just said he was poor in that derby as well. He just said the moment that you said, and in the derby he was poor as well.
Yeah.
The comment there, yeah, he's just said, I remember that one as well, but I think everyone was poor in that game as well. Like you say, just because there's a lot that went on around Cody that was poor, but it just seems to get highlighted when you're a defender, doesn't it? And he got dropped. And the comment there as well, everything Everton said, we ain't got 4.5. It's crazy if we ain't got 4.5 million. Do you think that's the reason, Paul? Or do you think it's generally that the Blues has just said he don't fit the system?
Our system has changed and altered so much over the season. Not just because of the 2 managers, just because of personnel and everything else. So I don't get the thing. I think it's unfair to say that he can only play in a back 5 or a back 3. I think he's good enough to do a flat back 4. To be honest, I think that's a myth. I think that's a myth, to be honest.
Do you think though, Paul? This, and I've been thinking about this. Do you think? Because I know you've got a wicked football brain. From what I've seen, Dyche likes pushing that back line high to press teams when they're passing the ball to force a mistake. Do you think Dyche wants a fast centre-back and Cody hasn't got the speed in training and stuff?
The thing about playing centre-back is that it's not just about pace. It's about your positioning. I mean, Christ Almighty, it's going back a little bit, but we had a good sort of 6 years, mid late 90s, where we ended up having the oldest centre backs that you could have. I mean, we had Dave Watson, we had David Weir, we had Richard Goff. Do you know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. And the thing was, I remember us playing Liverpool at home, and Liverpool had Owen up front. So it was just a case of, oh, well, these two are just going to get battered for pace. But all we did was take 10 yards retreat, we just backed off. The game ended 0-0 and Owen didn't get a sniff. So it's not always about how fast you are as a centre-back. It's about how well you read the game. And I think Conor Cody reads the game really well. It comes down to what you've got in that area and which ones you prioritise. So I would imagine Dyche knows who's going to come back, knows who we'd have at the start of the season, and then he's put them in an order, and then he's gone for the top 4 or 5. So maybe that's obviously going to be Tarkowski, might well be Branthwaite, may well be Godfrey, may well be Keane, may well be one other. That's maybe how he's seen it. And that's why he's happy for Mina to go, and that's why he said no to Cody.
I like the way you've explained that.
It might be Dyche. It might not be Dyche's call. But 4.5 million, you're telling me then we're not going to buy someone else? Maybe that's it. We don't want to spend money that we've got limited money, so maybe we don't want to spend it in the centre-back area. We want to take that and add it to another position that we need to spend money on.
I think that's what's... There's two things here. First of all, this is getting looked at a lot more because a lot of people want Holgate, Keane, and maybe even Godfrey. I don't know about Godfrey. Maybe even him out more than Conor Cody. I think they rate Conor Cody more than those 3 players, Keane, Holgate, and Godfrey. So I think that's the thing that scares people, is that they're thinking that probably Holgate ain't going to leave, or that's what scares people on that part. And I also think the second thing is it scares people financially. Like you've just said, that there could be a pot. It makes the pot look like it's going to be small when you can't even cough up that much sort of money, when Cody could be a cracking squad player that could come in handy. So it just gets you thinking, doesn't it? It gets your mind everywhere on this one. It really does. There's so much more to it.
I mean, he's 30 now, and then it's not Logan's Run. Do you know what I mean? You might not get that reference, but when you're 30,
no, yeah, I do. I just agree with it.
Someone else in the comments tell me Logan's Run, but you don't die when you're 30. Do you know what I mean? When football's changed loads now, there's going to be more and more players who are going to play at the top level into their mid to late 30s. And it's going to happen more and more because people are fitter. So it's not a case of him not being good enough when he reaches 30. However, you might look at it and say, well, Godfrey and Branthwaite could be moulded a little bit more. And then you've got maybe Tarkowski, who's slightly older. So, he could sort of be alongside either one of those two. So maybe that's against Connor's argument for being able to stay.
I completely agree. We're just dropping the Blues comments then as well. Sorry, if we are buying a centre back, then it needs to be one who suits Dyche. Yes, it's better. Maybe we will buy one. I'm hoping that's the reason. I really am. I'm hoping that, like you just said, Paul, they've got a list, and Branthwaite coming back is at the top of the list with Tarkowski. Yeah, and maybe Godfrey's going to fit in with that, and that's 3 centre backs he sees. And you've just said also, Paul, I like what you're thinking, that kitty has got to be spent on a right winger or an attacking midfielder, or definitely at the top of the list of centre forward. So I said, yeah, that is probably what they're thinking. That it's probably not a big bank that they've got to spend money, and they're thinking, let's take a bit out of the defence, deal with this amount of numbers, because we are overnumbered in defence. I know the quality is not there, but we are overnumbered. It's just a frustrating one on that one. But yeah, he's gone. I don't know where he'll go to. I don't know. I did like him, but I don't think it's something that's going to hurt us. Do you know what I mean? Because he didn't always play, and we have played without him. So that's Conor Cody. Bye-bye, Conor Cody. Thank you. He was nice on TalkSport. Well, not TalkSport. He went on...
Oh, yeah.
It was something to Michael Richards, and he kept saying we. we Everton, like with when he spoke about Everton, he said we, and he left Everton by then, so he still kept saying we. So maybe it wasn't fake, and he does love us. Do you know what I mean? Maybe he does love us.
BBC thing, wasn't it? Yeah.
His kids like
I'd say anyone who didn't hear it, I'll just mention this one because he was on about Man City, and they were talking to him about Haaland, weren't they? And they said to Ben Godfrey,
"Yeah, I heard that."
When we drew 1-1 away, he said, Ben, just get into him, just wind him up a little bit and all this sort of stuff. So after the first 30 seconds, Godfrey goes right through Haaland, but Haaland doesn't see who it is. When Haaland eventually gets up, he walks towards Cody like this. And he said, "It wasn't me, it was him."
I was laughing my head off when he said that as well, because Godfrey did get trashed that game by Haaland as well, and it was a proper head-to-head, and I think it does make sense that he ditched him in that one as well. It did make sense. He tells a good story as well, Cody. So bye-bye, Cody. Cracking player. But on to the next one. Cody's gone. Mina's gone. Viagra's gone. Asmir Begovic. Did you know this was going to happen? I thought he was going to stay a bit longer.
Yeah, good. I mean, very good backup goalkeeper. I think we wanted him to stay. I think we offered him the chance to stay, but he turned it down and he wanted to move on. So I can understand. I mean, he'd be first choice in a championship side or even a side maybe coming up from championship. That's obviously in this country, but he may want to move on and live elsewhere.
Yeah, he's done his. He's just old, isn't he? That's the thing, and we've kept that Lonergan or whatever his name is. So you can only have one, can't you? And I think he's a cracking. I tell you something, he's a cracking backup option because he is like a first team goalkeeper. I think he'll go somewhere decent, like you said. Because I can see him playing regularly. He's still got loads of football in him, and that's what he might be thinking. He might want to just go abroad or something like that and play every game because he's still good enough. He probably don't want to be sitting on the bench. His contract's up, and he's probably had a think. He's a clever man, and he's probably just thinking, right, Everton couldn't cope without me. I'm going to move on. And I do like this guy. He's a nice guy as well, isn't he, Begovic?
Yeah, seems like I know he's done soccer camps and stuff, hasn't he, at Fidge Farm and stuff. So I think he's well liked. So I mean, he's 35. So maybe he just wants to play elsewhere. A lot of European players end up going back home, don't they, for their sort of last couple of seasons or something. So you never know. Yeah,
he probably will. I think he will, to be fair. He's that type of person, and he probably wants to explore a little bit before he retires. When you're coming to that part of your career, they do have a good think, and I think he knows what he wants to do, and wish him all the best in whatever he's done, because he played well for us, didn't he?
Yeah, you remember when we had Tim Howard and we had Robbles, we had Rob Les as the backup. Everyone always got nervous when Howard wasn't in goal and Rob Les was there. I didn't feel as though everyone was nervous when Begovic was in goal.
No, sometimes they were shouting for him. Sometimes when Pickford was going for a bad patch, I love Pickford, by the way. And we will talk about, by the way, I've just seen Eugene talk about Pickford there. And it's funny that popped up at that time. At the minute, we're talking about contracts that have finished, contracts that have ended. And then we'll drop one again midweek or at the end of the week with all the transfer talk and stuff like that. And we'll catch up. But we are just catching up because it's the first time we're back. And we will talk about transfers the next one. But this one, we're just catching up on contracts finished and contracts ended. And we're on Asmir Begovic so far. And like we all just said, cracking players. Any comments we've missed there on Begovic before I change it?
Just Blues mentioning he's been linked with Luton. That's sort of ideal, really. You could sort of see him going to a side like that, just coming up. Anyone like that, he would do a good job for them.
Yeah, he'd play every game, and he is a good keeper. He'd be good at Luton, actually. That's a good one. I didn't know about that one. But yeah, keep popping the stuff up because sometimes you in the comments know more than me and Paul. So keep popping your stuff up. Right. I know that we need them. I always say they're important in this channel. Here's one for you. Another one that caused a little bit of a thing. People thought they was going to have him a bit longer. He scores screamers and Josh Townsend.
Townsend.
I ain't got the D at the end. I ain't got the D at the end. It's because it's come to an end as well. So I should have definitely put the D on, but never mind. I was rushing, I was late, and this is why I was late. I was putting this together for you to get a good thing on the screen to look at while we're talking to make it more interesting. People on, by the way, there's quite a few on, and it's cracking. This channel has grown by the second, right? And we make it nice and interesting, fun, and we get you involved in the comments. So it's just a good Everton get together. And sometimes we get other fans that are respectable. So people, please like and subscribe, because we've done the channel for half a season. We've already got 250 subscribers. It's just hit now. I think we're on 251. It'd be amazing at the pre-season now. It'd be amazing if we could push this to 1,000. So like and subscribe, and you will enjoy it, I promise, because you just tell me what you want and we'll do it on the channel. We will. As long as it's not too naughty or rude or anything. I probably shouldn't say that too. I probably shouldn't say that. But yeah, but carry on. Then to Andros Townsend, here we go. What do you think on this one?
Like him. He's likable guy, likable player, worked hard, scored some memorable goals. I'm not sure that he can do a Ronaldo celebration as well as Ronaldo, but you know, he scored some decent goals. I mean, the one against Burnley last year, was it? I think it was.
Crackers, didn't he?
So, you know, he's capable, but he came to the end of his contract after a long injury as well. You're not really sure whether he's going to be able to get back to what he was beforehand. So I can understand why it's not been renewed, to be fair. But I wish him well. I hope he does well elsewhere. I really do, because he's a good lad.
Jamie, I subscribe for the readers. Yes, Jamie. I forgive. I was pointing at you, but I didn't say your name. But you know I meant you. Yeah, I think he's cracking. A lot of people are frustrated with this. I think he's our only right winger, isn't he?
I suppose natural right winger, perhaps. Yeah,
he's the only right winger. I still think a lot of the comments when this come out on the Twitter, because I have still been doing the Toffee Bluecast Twitter and stuff, keeping up to date with stuff. A lot of the comments was saying he gave 100% in the shirt. He always gave everything he's got. So I think it's cracking words. We can't say nothing bad about him. He gave everything. But that injury was really bad. It put him out the whole season. And his contract's come up. And you don't know whether he's going to be injury prone after this injury, do you? That's what I was thinking in my head. He could become injury prone. There's no saying he's going to come back and be fully fit and play a whole season. So that could come into the thoughts as well. Yeah. That with them thinking that we'll let him go and bring in someone else. But the positive on this is maybe we are going to bring in a right winger. I don't know.
I think that's the thing is that the bloated squad thing is rubbish. I think it only becomes bloated if we buy more players without getting rid of people, to be honest. So if you think that we say we did offer Townsend another 1-year contract, then that is money and a position that we can't give to someone else. Do you know what I mean? So I think it is going to be a case of being really careful about who we keep and who we bring in.
It's a tight budget. Yeah, it's going to be a tight budget, I think. You can tell.
So. But I think we've got to be shrewd about it as well, is that we can't, we've got lots of people who are options at centre-back or did before, you know, say Connor Cody and Mina went. And we've got lots of people, it seems, in the middle of the pitch. But we've got to try and choose carefully about who we want in those other areas that we don't have a lot of cover for. So maybe Andros going is going to give an opportunity to either a younger player or potentially someone that we've spotted coming into Andros's position.
Well, everything Everton's just said, that goal against Burnley, I've just put it on the screen there. And then Toffee too has just said the respect to Andros. This is what I say, the talk about him is fantastic. Everyone liked him. Yeah. But I just feel I'm really hoping that the reason behind this one is that they are going to go out and get a good right winger. And Dyche has said, I need someone good on that wing. I'm happy with McNeil the other side. And probably I've got Gray as backups for McNeil that can play the left or right. And I need a right winger that's really attacking. I'm really hoping there is reason behind this, because otherwise you would keep him. I thought Dyche would have liked him as well. I hope this is Dyche's decision and that there is thought about it and they've done it early because they have got plans. I know that's not Everton, but I hope they are like that.
I mean, one thing to sort of think about it as well is that there's some positions that Dyche might not necessarily want or need. You know, if the way that we play is to get around a taller striker, you know, like we did do with Calvert-Lewin or whoever in the last few games, then Andros Townsend is more toes on the heels on the sideline, if you like. So he's one that will stay wide to be able to get crosses into the box. Maybe Dyche doesn't particularly want or need that on the right hand side. Maybe the money saved from Andros or a position in the 25 or 23, is it 25 man squad in the Premier League? Or think about that. There's only so many spaces as well. Maybe he's not going to want an out and out right winger. Maybe he's going to want someone who's maybe sort of an inside right. Maybe he's going to want someone in a different position, that kind of thing. So sometimes we've got to think a little bit outside the box in that we might bring in a little bit of cover in an area that we need, say like a striker, and sacrifice cover with another position, perhaps right wing.
Was it 80k? James just said 80k off the wage bill. Is that what he was on?
Wouldn't surprise me, to be honest. Wouldn't surprise. I don't know for sure.
The Blues, what wage was he on? If you don't know, you're grounded, mate, because you normally know every fact about Everton. Was he on 80k? I haven't looked it up. I was going to do super research, but you're asking a lot from me there, what his wage was. But maybe even he wanted to leave as well. Maybe he wanted to leave because his contract is up. We forget it's not just down to us. Maybe he wanted to leave and go to someone else. I don't know, relegation battle. Even though I don't think we'll be in one this season, what probably wasn't for him. We don't know the situation, but they were saying bye to a lot of players here. Bye, Andros Townsend. That's another one that's gone already. Yeah. See, we've got next. It's like stars in your eyes here, isn't it? See, we're going to chuck on the screen next. That's Andros Townsend that's gone. I know, like I say, a lot was frustrated because I could see use in him, but hopefully, like we've just said, there is logic behind it. And Dyche just don't need him.
I think most people were disappointed maybe about Mina, but it was Mina's decision. And then after that, Cody, you know.
I think this frustrated a few people. This is a bit of a wild one because it's not first team, but Isaac Price.
I got it mixed up before I said Mills.
I know you did, yeah.
I gave the Blues a heart attack, I think.
I know. I love it when you get stuff wrong because you're cleverer than me. So,
you know what? Yes. I always mix up Price and Mills. It's always the same. I've done it about 3 times now, I think.
Yeah, I mix up the Price on my Chinese. Sometimes I get it wrong, but yeah, the awful joke. But no, seriously, I did hear. I was curious for ages. Blues, you'll like this information. This is a toffee information thing that people like. It was him that won the bleep test, you know.
Price won the bleep test.
Yeah, it was him that won the bleep test. Yeah, I can't remember where I heard it, but I think Connor Cody said that, actually. They said to Connor Cody, who won the bleep test, and he said it was between McNeil and Isaac Price. So we have lost probably the bleep test winner there. But he wants first-team football. He's a good player. He wants first-team football. They might play in first-team football over there. You don't know. He's got his own path. I'm a bit frustrated with Everton that we've got players in our academy that we wanted to keep and we can't even keep them. I think it says a lot about us in control there, and it shows we're not doing things properly a little bit, because I think we should always have the contract over so we're in control of it. I don't like that part. He had potential, but he was in the academy, so it's not something that's going to massively hurt us now. But in the future, if he smashes it and turns into a John Stones, we might be saying, like the Haaland situation, we had a cracking player there and let him go. That's what could happen. Yeah. I don't know.
I think it's not unusual now for young English lads to go abroad and get up to the first team in a different avenue, to be honest. And they seem to not have as much disruption and everything else as they would do if they were here. And I think as soon as players come into teams over here, the press and the fans, we almost go too much into them and put the pressure onto them, don't we? Especially if you're in the side like ours, where we actually don't. We're actually not able to. We don't have the luxury of just letting them come in and out of the side and stuff like that. If they're one of our best players, we end up playing them all the time, and they don't seem to do that as much, or it doesn't seem that way on the continent. So, in some ways, it might be better for the lad that he does that. You never know. One day he might come back.
Well, a lot of the teams abroad, I can remember, I think I was watching, it was either last season or the season before, that Lucas that played for Liverpool was still playing centre mid. And Snyderlin, who we had, is still playing centre mid. And I thought, bloody hell. So I think that's what they're doing. They used to play older players centre mid abroad in the Italian leagues, the French leagues. But now I think they're onto a few young players and think, right, these young players might be able to handle it. One of the comments I've just seen the Blues say, this happens to loads of clubs, Dan, even Man City lose players. He did say my joke was a dad joke as well. The Blues has said it does, but I like Everton to be on the ball. But what's Jamie said there? And look at Sancho now struggles with the Premier League.
That youth level like Sancho, and Jamie pointed out like Sancho now struggles with the Premier League.
True. It is true. So he's one that I'm just going to put on there because he has gone. Well, we knew about it early though, didn't we? I think we knew about this before, like halfway through the season. Yeah. We already got told this. It wasn't new news, but we're getting you up to date on everything. So bye-bye, Isaac Price as well. We are going for a few players here. We ain't got none in, but a lot are going. Hopefully this is because we're starting to actually get organised on this sort of thing. Here we go. Next player. See who this one is.
Going to run out of players soon, Dan.
No, I haven't. I've got one more left. This is the last one. And I just got told this, by the way, on Twitter, because I thought he was still coming back training. And someone goes, no, he's they've paid the $2 million for him. I thought he was going to come back and play as a left winger. Do you know who I'm on about?
Go on.
$2 million signed.
Oh yeah. No, I was a bit disappointed.
I don't miss him.
I was disappointed about this one. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked him.
He's been doing all right. He's been doing all right. He scored a few goals.
6 goals in 12 or something like that.
Made an impression over there. It's a shame because I think he would have. I think after doing that loan, I think he would have done rather well with us.
Do you think we were stupid putting? I think it's €2 million actually. Do you think it was stupid putting that on the contract? Do you think we could have got more for him, or do you think that's just okay business?
It doesn't seem like a lot at all. But I don't know how long he had on his contract.
Oh, it was only one season, wasn't it? Yeah.
So if his contract was if he was at the end of his contract, you either get the $2 million or you wait 6 weeks and you get nothing. You know, it could have been that kind of situation. I'm not sure. Paul
Caswell just said we should. Sorry, dropping your comment there, Paul Caswell. He's done really well. Surprisingly, I don't think we let him go. I think we just put a $2 million clause in it for them to buy him if they want, because we didn't like him at the time, or Lampard probably didn't like him, and then they've just took the clause and that's it. They've paid the €2 million and they've got him. Of course, a player would absolutely smash it when we've done that, but yeah, he's gone. I would have liked to have had him because I feel he would have been good playing left wing. I really do. I don't think he was good enough left back. I don't. I watched him a couple of times because I was the person that said, I want to see Nkunku. He looks amazing. He set Moise Keane up on that goal. He looks amazing when he attacks. And then all of a sudden, they did eventually play him in pre-season and he got destroyed a couple of times, didn't track back properly. And I thought, oh, maybe that they know more than me and that's the reason. And then he got sent out on loan. But then he smashed it when he's attacking. So maybe he could have made a good left winger, in my opinion. But I wouldn't like to have seen him left back. Because I still don't think he was that good defending, but I think definitely he had an eye for goal. We could see that when he was playing for us.
I'd like to see Jamie in France though. That'd be good. See if he could score 6 goals.
I think Jamie could. I mean, I'm still waiting on Jamie's. I'm still waiting on Jamie's dice tattoo. Look, a meme machine when he's got his dice tattoo running around. You know what I mean? But we're still going to get that announced soon. I'm looking forward to that. We'll keep reminding you, Jamie, because I want to see it. But yeah, the French league isn't that. I think how many goals has Lacazette scored? He's absolutely smashed it, Ante. So it does make me think that league's a bit weak. Although Lacazette is a good player, but I think it is a little bit weaker, that league. A lot of the comments there are saying that the French league isn't exactly amazing. Moise Keane smashed it as well in that league. Luckily,
Oh yeah.
Well,
Well,
when we
to the
sent,
PSG.
yeah. Well, he went. This is what you've got to do: send them to the French league, and they look amazing. Then they're worth a lot of money. We sent Nkunku to the French league, and we've got €2 million for him. We sent Moise Kean to the French league to PSG, and he scored goals, and then Juventus bought him for a stupid price. So if you want to sell a player, send him to the French league. He'll look incredible. It's a cracking market to sell players.
Is that why some people want Barkley back?
Yeah, he's gone to the French league, and some people have said they want him back. So that French league is hypnotising. So that we should be on the Everton board because we know our stuff. Send them the French league; you'll sell them for 100 million at least. But yeah, Gomez, he's one that I haven't talked about because he is coming back.
It was a loan. It was a loan. So
he is coming back. I've seen one today saying he's coming back. So I can't say that we haven't given him a contract. I can't say we've given him one. So I'm not talking about Gomez on this, but he is coming back to training. That's the latest on Gomez. But Nkunku, bye-bye. Bit good on that because I liked him. I feel like he could take a player on. And I love someone that can take a player on. I really do. Because I want Pino down that left-hand side. I really do. But yeah, that's the players gone. That's all the players gone now. That was quite a few, but we're up to date on players gone so far. So now, I don't know if this will cause a bit of fume. Let's get to the ones that have been given a contract. I'll start with one that's not too bad. Seamus Coleman.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say Seamus then. Seamus Coleman has been given a contract. We're all happy about this, I think. People in the comments, what do you think on this one?
It's a no-brainer for me. It just makes sense, to be honest. It ties in with everything as well as, Goodison's last season, Seamus's last season. But even from a squad point of view, you'd imagine Patterson will become the main guy at right back unless Dyche doesn't like him and brings someone else in. Seamus is going to be the backup to that, but he's still decent. I mean, there was still plenty of games last season where he was the standout. And actually, the Leicester game when he got injured, I still felt as though in that first half hour, everything was running through him. He started everything in terms of us for that first half where we looked really strong. So it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer.
He's got the composure still, Ante, and I feel like he might. Yeah. Some players peak at that age as a right back. We see a lot of old players playing in that position. I mean, Chelsea have still got that old player playing right back as well, the Spanish one. I honestly feel like players last in this position. A lot of Italians as well. You've seen them play old in these sort of positions. And the comment there, he's a leader. Jamie's just said, hold on, let me just move that so I can see what he said on the...
Says he's got to be captain for first game at Brownlee Moor.
Hope so.
I'm not sure whether that'll happen, though, to be honest with you, but certainly glad that he gets to spend the last season at Goodison. That's
Paul Cass,
definite.
That was Paul Caswell's comment. He just says one of the very few leaders that we've got. I definitely, especially with Mina and Cody leaving as well. Did hear that Cody still keeps in contact with Coleman. That's how much of a legend Coleman is. He's just a proper nice guy. Toffee 2 has just said Barkley's a rat. I agree with you. I'm not a big fan of him. I used to like him when he played for us, but the rat thing put me off. But Eugene has just said Seamus Coleman keep, and we will be in. Yeah, I think he will have a role to play in managing eventually. But I don't think you can knock him down too much, Paul. I generally think he gave Patterson a run for his money, and I think he can handle it still. I really do. He's one of our best players, like you said, down that side, and a lot of our good play come down his side. So hopefully he comes back from injury and is a good backup option. And games that you can play him, Dyche, I'm sure, will play him. Dyche couldn't speak any more highly about Coleman. So Coleman, we're all happy. He's got a new contract. It's only a yearly thing, and I just want him to stay.
He's one of those players, like I was saying before, about players adapting their role and how they play the game. He's smart enough to do that. Do you know what I mean? He'll still be a decent defender and still be able to link up in attack as well. So 1 year it's an easy decision. Yeah.
Shut up, Jamie. Jamie's just got picked up on the Seamus bar. Seamus said, right. I said Seamus. I was just speaking quick. Right. Paul puts that on, of course he does. He only started about 10 games though, I think. Yeah, that's something all he'll play. I think I want Patterson to be fully fit. And if I don't know what the funds are, if we have got the funds, get a left back, get a right back. I don't know what we're going to do. Holgate might go. We don't know what's going to happen. We're all on the waiting here, seeing what's going to happen. I'm hoping we've got big plans. We're all thinking we're going to spend nothing, but hopefully they've got big plans on to get things right, because Dyche says there's a lot to do. Let's hope that he does it. So that's Coleman staying. Everyone's happy about that. Yeah. I think I've got 2 more players on the list here. I like the way I've done this. Nice and professional. I love this channel, I do. It just gets good conversation about it. And I do feel we're getting feedback in the comments. And obviously we haven't spoken about this, Paul, so it's good to hear what you've got to say on it. Yeah. The other player here, I'm going to say 1 till the end. I've got 2 left. I'm going to put Dukes first. Here we go. I forgot about Dukes, but they did say this got announced very early, didn't it? Saying he's been given. This got announced before everyone saying he's. I mean, we've just got the announcement about Coleman and the other player I'm going to talk about, but Dukes was early. It said his contract extension. Well, I'm happy about this. I love him, by the way, and I think he's going to be cracking under Dyche.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't getting played under Frank. Dyche comes in, and then suddenly he's playing almost every game. And I mean, he scored the goal that kept us up, so that's a massive thing. I think he probably would have got a contract extension anyway. I think it was probably decided beforehand, but he's decent enough in our side to make a difference. And even if he wasn't, he'd be good as a squad player anyway. So it's that's an easy decision to go with as well, I would have said.
I'm really there's a couple of players that I feel come into form at the end of the season, and I want them to go into the next season the same. And I think McNeil is one. I think Doucouré's another that come into form at the end. And I also think James Garner, I feel, come into a bit of form when we watched in that Bournemouth game. He was cracking. Yeah. So I think there's a few players that do look decent. Like the Dyche might get them improving more and more. A lot are scared that Doucouré might go back to his old self, but you can't always think negative. You've got to think positive. Fact is, Doucouré, for the first time in his whole time at Everton, he was good under Carlo, but not as good as he was under Dyche, I don't think. Was finding consistency, and he was looking very good. He's scoring goals, which he ain't normally done. His goal scoring was good. His assist was good. Yeah. And he excites me. He really does. I think I'd love to get another number 10 with him, sign another number 10. But depending on what we can do, I think Doucouré's cracking in that position, and we definitely should keep him.
Played 27 games. I'm sorry, 25 games out of the 38. Is that 5 goals? Yeah, 5 goals, couple of assists. It was that section, wasn't it, of about a 3 or 4 game run. The game against Forest, the game against Chelsea. It was that sort of section before the final run-in, if you like, where he was most vital, and then obviously the last game as well.
I was crying that we didn't have him with a red card, because I think we missed him. I think if he didn't get red carded, I believe we would have stayed up before that game that we had to go and watch and got stressed. I do believe Doucouré getting carded knocked us a little bit on form. We was all like, oh, we can't wait for Doucouré to come back. And I think that shows how well he was. Everything Everton has just said, he was like a new sign. And I think he was as well. I think he was cracking. Tarkowski was cracking as well. Everything Everton. I know that. I forgot to mention him. He's just talky, isn't he? I mean, Paul knows how much I love Tarky, because he was at the side of me that Bournemouth game, and I was literally screaming him like, Tarky, come on! And he was a beast. I just love Tarkowski. He's like a train. He is like a train, and I trust him. I trust him to take my dog a walk. I trust him to do anything. He's amazing.
I'm pretty sure he shouted back towards you, Dan, to be honest.
I think he looked at me when I shouted him. I really do. I did a lot of big shouts that kept us up, and I know it did. I started a lot of songs as well. I'm still buzzing from that game. I really am. Now I'm not stressed. I'm buzzing from it. And there was moments, Paul, where I shouted and a lot of songs started, and it got Everton picking up in the game. It really did make a difference. I'm going to take credit for that. I'm going to take credit for it. Right, I've just seen a comment here from, where is he? Toffee 2. I think we said he's mentioned a name, so I'm going to put that name on the screen there. I think we know who the last player is. This is something that's caused a lot of conflict. I think we would know. Me and Paul seen him after the game and said, there's Davis. We tried to get his signature, but I couldn't.
He didn't look happy. I'm surprised he got a deal. He didn't look happy.
Yeah,
did he?
With
his girlfriend. Happy.
He didn't look happy at all. And we said he's going to be leaving because he don't look happy when we've seen him. But he has been offered a deal. I'm going to get him on the screen now. Here he is, the legend. I've seen a lot of pictures around of this guy. This has been the biggest talk of Twitter just lately. Here he is, super Tom Davies. He looks good though, doesn't he, to be fair? He looks good. Looks a bit like a warrior, doesn't he?
Cracking picture. What's he doing with his mouth there?
Gritting his teeth because he's thinking about the contract. That's why I got that picture. No. I don't know on this one. This is where, Paul, I don't know what you think of Tom Davies. I don't ask you this question a lot, but I think you rate him, don't you?
I think he's incredibly inconsistent, to be honest. I mean, he played 19 times for us in the league last season. 4 of those were starts. So you can tell from that, you can tell what his role was basically in the squad. Not involved very much. Managed to get a few yellow cards. Did what he could, I think, in the roles that he was given. I mean, I think when he was thrown into the middle with Idrissa Gueye, when Frank was playing a 4-4-1-1, whatever it was, I just don't think that was going to suit anybody, including him. I think he can. I mean, I've seen a couple of games where he could do that kind of Gana Gueye role. But I think he was just really exposed in the games that he played. So it's no wonder that he would be frustrated. Maybe that's why Sean's given him another year, because maybe he's seen him work hard in training and the lads like him. You know, I don't think Everton fans have got anything against him. I just think that they don't believe that he's good enough to be in the first team, to be honest. So we all wanted him to do well, particularly after he, did really well as a kid, and we had that win against City and scored a goal, did a few good things, but then he's dropped off then, and so people haven't sort of championed his corner. So I just hope that he gets his head down in pre-season and gets back to what he can actually do and find a role in the side where he can boss it a little bit. But I think Westegg's right. I think he's going to be a squad player. He's going to be behind the 3 lads in the middle. James Garner's ahead of him, so he would sort of be fifth choice person in the middle of the pitch, I would imagine.
We've definitely got the most number 6s in the Premier League. Because I think Onana's a 6, Garner Gueye's a 6. Like you say, James Garner, I like him to play higher, but a lot say he's a 6. And I think Tom Davies, I don't know. I wanted him to be an attacking midfielder, but he's probably a 6 as well.
Yeah, I think what he needs to do, to be honest, I think he needs to try and find, I think he needs to adapt his role. I think he needs to do something like learn how to play, more of a, I know he can do inside right, if you like, but a right midfielder job. I think there's a niche there for him. I'm not saying a winger. I'm not saying for him to be a right winger at all. But certainly if he can adapt his game and maybe play that right hand side of midfield, and you've got an attacking fullback behind him, he's this kind of player who could hold the ball up quite well and then feed in that attacking right back.
Well, Iwobi's kind of done what you said there, hasn't he? Iwobi's done a similar thing.
Yeah, the thing about Iwobi is that he's actually got the speed to try and get past people, but he doesn't even try to do that, does he?
No.
I think Iwobi can sort of kind of get lost. I think if Tom Davies, maybe it's not right wing, right midfield, it'd be something else, but he's going to be the 5th choice behind everyone else in midfield. The only way he's going to get into the side will be to adapt his role, or everyone gets injured. That's basically what's going to happen, I'd imagine.
Yeah, well, I've gone through mixed emotions. When I first heard it, I was like, because I want something different. I often think if you keep putting the same thing out, then you get the same thing. I don't always think that's the case with, like, say, Decore, because he's come on now. I know players can come on. Tom Davies needs to show more for me. But I have also thought to myself that I'm sick and tired of seeing players go for nothing. Like John Joe Kenny, I don't care if they go for 500,000 or 1 million, at least get something for him. And I think if Tom Davies went, by the way, he hasn't accepted this contract yet. He might want to play football. He might do a Kenny and say, no, I'm not going to accept the contract. I want to play football. I'm going to go and play football. I think players with confidence go and do that. And I think if Davies had anything about him, he would probably go and do that. Because I think if he went to a slow league, like the French league that we talk about, he'd be worth 100 million, by the way. I think if he went to the French league or another league and he gets time on the ball, it'd be all right. I think Tom Davies struggles in the Premier League because he's half a yard off the speed. I think he's close to it, which makes him get away with some games. But the Premier League is that intense that I think he gets caught out in possession sometimes, and then they turn the ball over and it makes him look weak. But I generally think if you give him a bit more time on the ball, he could ping it about and he could look good in other leagues. But yeah, if we offer him the contract, he's a squad player. Our squad's not massive, and I don't think he's on a big wage, is he? He's not on a massive wage. A lot of heads are falling off on this, but I don't think it's a massive problem keeping him, is it? Out
of 25 players in your Premier League squad, do you know what I mean? We haven't got that luxury at the moment, so you just end up keeping him for that, really.
I just hope that we ain't selling Onana, and that's the reason we've got behind it, that we're going to sell Onana and just put all our eggs on Tom Davies. But I don't think that's the reason. I just generally think Dyche sees something in him and says, like you said, Paul, I want to get a good pre-season on Tom Davies, see what he's like first, and then I can let him go later on. I don't think the contract's big, is it? Does anyone know what the contract is?
Not sure, to be honest. I've got wages on here, but I can't see his, so I'm not sure.
No, I'm not sure of his wages. I don't think he's on big wages, Tom Davies. But it'll be interesting to see whether he takes it and accepts it or goes. But it's not a big problem. Now, that is literally up to date on contracts given and people gone with contracts ended. But yeah, I generally... Let me just get this gone now. We're finished on everything now. Here we go. Yeah, so that's it. That's all the news, Paul. We've gone through it all, said what we think. People in the comments have said what they think as well. And I'm a lot have gone, but I'm not majorly. We haven't had any big things to hear where we've talked about it, where we said it's a massive problem. And the ones that have stayed, like I say, Tom Davies has been the biggest one that people have moaned about, but Coleman is fine. Decore is fine. So there's not any big problems there, is there?
I don't think there's any. I suppose Mina and Cody, were playing in the first team. Everyone else was kind of on the periphery or were on loan and then have left. The things to look out for over the next few weeks, the likes of Pickford, the likes of Onana, and seeing whether we can add to the squad. And you want it done sooner than later, but don't expect any signings before, certainly before sort of middle of July. Do you know what I mean? Whenever have we done that? Never.
There's so much, and on the channel now, what we're going to do, we've got up to date on that. The next thing we're going to talk about, we all know about Pickford, so we'll probably drop that in a couple of days or at the end of the week. We're going to regularly keep up to date with stuff now. But yeah, Pickford is the big news. But the latest on Pickford is that they've now come out and Pickford said he's very happy. The bubble has said, Pickford's agents have said he's very happy. His family's happy. He doesn't want to leave Everton. So that's the latest on that. But we'll drop every bit of news on this channel. We'll keep it updated. We'll see what you think in the comments. And we'll have a little good talk about it with you. And we're planning some quizzes, questionnaires, because over this international break, I don't think the channel should go quiet, because I feel like you need the channel even more because there's no Everton. So me and Paul, obviously we're busy people, but we will try and at least once a week come on. Yeah. Sometimes me and Paul will come on individually and just say a transfer link and talk about it with you in the comments, or come on together and talk about it together. That's what we like to do, because it's a bit lonely by yourself. But yeah, we will cover everything. I've got some cracking quizzes. I've also thinking about dropping like a kit thing where me and you, Paul, I know some guy that collects a couple of kits. So we just talk about the old kits, the Everton kits, like the legend ones.
Oh, yeah.
I know you'll remember them more than me. So we'll just have a kit talk about, some of the old badges and stuff, get it on the channel, talk about it. The quizzes are going to be funny. I've got people in the comments. When we finished last season, Jamie come on, Everything Everton come on, Paul Castle will come on. So we might do a quiz with like 4 or 5 people, 6 people. I've had someone, a young lad, Evertonian, that's just said, I'd love to go on your channel. So there's an opportunity for him to come on. My Irish Everton friend has just said, why didn't you add me on? I didn't even know he wanted to come on. So he wants to come on the channel. This is everyone Everton just comes on this, gets together, and it's just a good crack. That's what it is. It's not about any individual person. It's just an Everton get together. So there's going to be some good stuff coming on. I definitely have Jamie on again as well. He'll be funny, won't he? We'll get some quizzes on. But yeah, we're just going to keep loads of stuff coming now. We've started it. I feel like today was the kickoff. We'll keep loads of stuff coming for you, and we'll put stuff on the screen, transfer links. Like you just said, Paula, do you think that the biggest thing is, well, I think someone said it in the comments as well, I think these new owners need to be announced before anything. I think the new owners need to, whatever's going to happen, I think the new owners need to be announced, because I think them coming in could turn over a bit of money to sort us out financially a little bit. And it could change the situation by them coming in. I think the board, we're all waiting on that to see what happens with the board. And I just think like all those big things that are literally the club need to happen before we talk about transfers and all that lot. But we will still talk about the transfers. But I'm sure you in the comments as well, we're all waiting on some sort of news about the board or some sort of news about what's going to happen with the owner.
Because the club's as transparent as a brick wall, isn't it? So,
it's silence kills you, doesn't it? It really does. I've literally wake up in the morning hoping we get the announcements. I've been putting stuff up because I generally think like if the board couldn't go on in their own seats towards the end of the season with what they've done as well, I just don't see how there's any way back for them. And I thought generally, out of respect for the fans for keeping them up the second time after gaslighting the fans, I thought that the news would have come straight out and made fans happy after keeping them up and saying the board's done. We are now working on getting a new board. And then the owners, what's happening with that? But Everton being Everton, nothing happens fast, does it? I mean, the kits, I'm sure, will be last on the kits to come out. It just frustrates me because I know it's not a big thing, by the way, and it sounds like I'm moaning, but at the end of the day, a lot of the young kids like to have the kits when the other teams' kits come out. I've seen Spurs come out. I've seen Newcastle's come out. I've seen Liverpool's come out. And it just seems that we're the last. And they've had all season to be on the ball with that. And I think they should just get on the ball with things because they just seem like it's an Everton thing that we're always run, so we're last minute and not on the ball and get things done nice and early. And that's kind of why our club does crap sometimes in the transfer windows as well. It's last minute. I mean, the transfers, I'm hoping that they've done nothing that last transfer window to sign no one. So surely they're going to be on it straight away. I want Everton to get better, I do. But yeah, that's my little rant on that. We will update you with everything. So we'll update you if we've got a new board. We'll come on straight away. We'll update you if we've got a new owner. If it's percentage or takeover, we'll come on. And we'll update you on signings as well. And we'll try and be as free as we can on the channel because we want to hear what you've got to say as well. We want to make the channel amazing. The questionnaires are going to be fun and good. But yeah, that's it, Paul, from me. Have you got anything to chuck on that?
We've got internationals coming up soon. So don't expect too much business before all that's finished. Ignore the board. You know, they're going to announce things whenever they bloody well feel like it. So it might well be Christmas before we find anything out.
I know. Just give us the cheer.
Fixtures come out on is it Thursday? I think.
Thursday the fixtures come out. The friendlies have come out as well, by the way. That's another thing. Friendlies have come out. Explain this to me as well.
Go on.
The friendlies have come out that we're playing the friendlies against the championship teams in the UK or whatever, yeah? Does that mean we're not going abroad this pre-season?
Doesn't seem like it. I'd imagine we would, for training camp and stuff like that, but maybe we haven't got 2 pennies to rub together. So maybe they're just going to go down Ainsdale Beach and run up and down the sand. Well,
they don't deserve a big holiday, do they? I hope that money's not that tight that they can't even have a pre-season friendly. I'm absolutely gutted that we can't try and get that a double on the Florida Cup. That is one thing that really frustrates me because obviously Florida Cup twice would be a good achievement for us.
Well,
But,
maybe did we qualify? You know, it's
probably
that
not.
kind of
Probably
thing.
not. Good point. Because we nearly got relegated twice. We're probably ain't in that Florida Cup anymore. But yeah, it just seems pre-seasons are local. I don't mind that. I really don't. I think going abroad sometimes they don't deserve it after this season. I don't. I know that's a bit brutal. Maybe Sean Dyche don't like the sun. It's because I was thinking sun. Sun Dyche. Maybe Sean Dyche doesn't like the sun. He doesn't want to get sunburnt abroad because I don't know whether I ain't done my research, but I don't know whether he went abroad with Burnley. We ain't got no Burnley fans on, but I don't know. It's just weird at the minute. Everything's just half-hearted and we don't know enough information. So we dropped that one. Pre-season's in the UK at the minute. And yeah, that's all we know.
Yeah. International is going to be good. If you've managed to watch some internationals,
Watch Branthwaite.
Look out for,
Branthwaite and James Garner.
Yeah, look out for a few of the lads. Look out for the Coventry lad as well. Swedish, isn't he? You know, Sweden got a couple of internationals. He's going to be. He might be.
Oh, it's been announced that he's not going to us anymore. He's going to SP someone.
Oh,
Portugal team. No, that is 17 million.
Sporting.
Yeah, he's going to them. It's not 100% confirmed, but that's the rumor I've seen. So it don't look like we're going to get the Coventry one. But at the end of the day, we're going to talk about rumors next time. But at the end of the day, we could go and get Dembele and Milik, which I'd be happy to get. There are players about. Dembele's on a free. I think that'd be I think that'd be like a talkie. I think that'd be cracking business. I'd like to get 2 strikers. There's going to be loads to talk about. We're going to get players. We're going to get better. We'll stay positive on this channel. We always will. This transfer window, Paul, I'm nervous and excited. I just love transfer windows because it's hope, but I hate them because Everton have been crap on them just recently. But that's how I feel. That is how I feel.
Well,
right, everybody.
As Jamie said earlier on, I think he said it's the hope that kills you. So, so nothing changes. Some things never change.
Yeah, some things never change. I just seen Ian's comment there. Well done, mate. See you later. But you do get some. We don't get many on the channel that are trolls, but yeah. The Blues has said about Dembele, I'll have him. And Jamie, I love you, Dan. I love you too, mate. But there you go. That's the channel ended. We've done an hour and 12, more than what we thought we would, but we've covered a lot now. Next, we will be talking about transfers. We will be doing quizzes. We'll just be having a laugh and getting plenty of Blues on the channel. Thanks, everyone, for coming on. We've missed you. We really have. And we're back on it now. And I'm looking forward to it. This will get me ready for the season. Last words, Paul?
No. Enjoy the week, everyone. We'll see you soon.
See you soon.